This is gonna be delish. I am Deborah VanTrece, a chef from Atlanta, Georgia. Prior to becoming a chef, I was an international flight attendant. Through my travels, I've gotten the opportunity to experiment and try so many different cuisines. Woo, we're there, and I like what I'm tasting. Bam! All cultures have comfort food, all cultures have soul food. And that has helped to shape my conversation on food and the soul food community all over the world. Global Soul, a Southern twist on a global dish.
We bring the world together when we cook with soul.
Hi, I'm Chef Deborah VanTrece with another soulful twist on global cuisine. This one today is gonna take a little bit longer, but the reason being is because it comes from humble beginnings and humble roots. We're going to be doing a smothered chicken gizzard poutine. So let's talk about gizzards. All right, a chicken gizzard is an organ in the chicken, and it's very cheap, very inexpensive. In the United States, it's kind of considered a cast-off, but in other countries all over the world, it is considered a delicacy. It is considered premium cuisine. I grew up with it. It was one of my mother's favorite parts of the chicken. It takes a while to cook it because it has to be braised long. There's muscle tissue that's interconnected, and a slow braise is the best way to prepare the dish. Now, poutine, on the other hand, it comes from Canada, traditional Canadian dish. Several years ago, talking a bit ago, I had the opportunity to cook for the Prime Minister of Canada. And on this menu, I wanted to combine my roots, Southern cuisine, that was where I was locally, and French Canadian cuisine. Poutine pretty much started in Montreal, so did start on the French side. And it has been around for quite a while. So traditionally, we've got fries, we have a gravy, and then we have cheese curds. Cheese curds are just regular cheese. The big thing about it is it's kind of the first part of making the cheese. Most cheese goes on after curds are made. They become aged cheddar that we're more familiar with. We're gonna get cooking. I'm gonna stop talking. These gizzards have been marinating in buttermilk overnight. We've put a little bit of seasoning on it. I'm gonna add a little bit more and a little bit more buttermilk. I like to have the buttermilk soak for 15 minutes or so at least. After 15 minutes, I let it seep in. It helps to tenderize that muscle, and then I start adding my spices. So I've got a little bit of the seasoned salt. This is my garlic powder and onion powder. Traditional seasonings I use on Southern chicken recipes. I've got a little bit of paprika. I'm gonna put just a pinch of cayenne. I'm gonna mix this together and let it sit for a while. Give it that extra 15 minutes or so, but keep in mind this has already been soaking in just a little bit of buttermilk over an hour or so, but we're gonna just add a little bit more to it. All right, so we're gonna cut up some vegetables, the aromatics. Do some carrot, got celery, think about a half a cup, so we'll do about 2 stalks of that. Garlic cloves, we're just gonna smash an onion. If you want a white or a yellow onion. Quick dice on my veggies. And I need about a half a cup to 3/4 cup of the onion. Put that end end piece in there so I can make stock. Celery, cut the ends off, gonna save those too. The thought process behind my recipes is a little bit strange. I can eat something, I can get inspiration from reading something, from visually seeing a picture, that makes me ask the question, why can't I do it a certain way? I have found so many similarities in cultures by just looking at ingredients that are used, looking at cooking processes, and I've found that it's a way to make ingredients that seem foreign or recipes that seem foreign more palatable for the average palate. So as a former flight attendant, I have been blessed to be able to travel to places far and near, and I love to utilize all those experiences when I come up with recipes and ideas for cooking. So we've got fresh carrots. We're gonna grate them. This is a pretty handy tool. Compliments of Miss Rachael Ray. Look at that. It's really, really cool. It's got a container. Duh. Somebody should have thought of this a long time ago. Of course, you can always buy the carrots grated, but it's pretty simple and it's less expensive to just do it yourself. Don't go down too far or you'll cut yourself. We'll do about 2 carrots or so. Just really want to do about another half a cup or 3/4 cup of this particular vegetable. Garlic, we're just gonna smash it. Just take the knife, bear down on it, get a nice smash, help release the flavor. All right, let's get some flour together. Again, all-purpose flour. Gonna add an additional layer of flavor to this. We've got 2 pounds of chicken gizzards here. It seems like a lot, but it's gonna smother and cook down. Now, smothering. The process of smothering is basically slow cooking and braising. I grew up where we smothered everything. It was a good way of getting rid of leftovers. So fried chicken, just add a little bit of chicken broth or chicken stock, make a quick roux, and you could smother it so it would be breakfast after we had it for dinner the night before. We've got the flour. Let's put some seasoning, onion, garlic powder, the same thing we put in the chicken, little seasoned salt, little paprika, help with the browning, give it a little flavor, pinch of cayenne. Stir that up. So we've got a nice big pan here. This pan is gonna go in the oven. That's why we want a big pan that can take the broth. We're gonna reduce this broth. Once it's in there, it's gonna braise for a while. So it'll reduce down just a little bit. Gonna grab some oil. Gonna put about 1/3 to a 1/2 inch of oil so we can fry the gizzards up. Of course, we've gotta let the oil heat to about 350, add just a little bit more. We're gonna take a minute, let this oil heat up. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. The oil, I think, is where we need it to be. We can take and put some flour, see if it fries. So when you hear that sizzle, the drip, or if you see it with the flour, you know that you're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna start dredging the gizzard and the flour. I'm gonna have to wash my hands often. I could use 2 hands, but I just feel like I wanna keep this hand clean. So we're gonna do the one-handed version, which because the gizzards are wet, of course, I'm breading my fingers also. All right, let's start putting them in. You wanna make sure when you're frying that you never overcrowd the pan. If you overcrowd the pan, it starts bringing the temperature of the oil down. And then your chicken or whatever it is you're trying to fry will not fry properly. And I want to keep a close eye on it. I turn them as I need to. Some of the breading may come off, it's okay. We're gonna use some of that to make this incredible gravy that's gonna go over the fries and make our poutine. So because I've gotten this opportunity to travel and I'm known for globally inspired soulful cuisine. I get a lot of people of all different cultures that come to me because they figure I have the expertise to come up with some very creative dishes like smothered chicken gizzard poutine. I think food is a great way for us to sit down and talk over a good meal, over a good glass of wine, over a good cocktail. So these are looking good. I'm gonna keep flouring with one hand. I'm gonna pull out chicken browned with the other. That's really pretty. So this is a big old pot of some very good stuff here. Gonna pour a little bit of the fat off. Wanna get down to maybe 4 tablespoons. I don't want a lot of the drippings, but a little bit. A bit of a roux, so we can get this gravy going. All right, need 4 tablespoons. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. There we go. Gonna add some flour. This is the same flour that I had the seasoning in, that we dredged our chicken gizzards in. So once I have that combined, I'm gonna add my veggies. Adding my carrots, see this cool compartment. The star of the dish can sometimes be the base. So we've got some great potatoes, nice big, really pretty. Let's add some stock, 3 cups. If you don't have stock, we're gonna go the old-fashioned way and just grab some water. Because this is gonna cook for like 3 hours, so all of the flavor from the gizzard is gonna actually get into the gravy and the broth. You wanna make sure you keep stirring it. This helps to avoid lumps. We don't want our important gravy to be lumpy. We turn this down to low, let it simmer just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's start cutting up these fries. The fries and the poutine, the cool thing about it too, is it's an easy dish for a large group. And now we're gonna start making our chicken. Gonna put our gizzards into this. I'm gonna give this a good stir. So this time around, I'm gonna put a little black pepper, put a little salt, a little bit of Worcestershire, a couple of bay leaves, onion powder and garlic powder. Let's stir again. Taste. Now it's ready to go in the oven. I'll have the oven at 325 because this is gonna simmer on low in the oven for about 3 hours. Once we pull it out, it's gonna be tender, you'll see the difference, and we'll be ready to go. All right, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna get all this cleaned up, finish up these potatoes, and we're gonna go on to what's next. Okay, we're back. Now, we're making ourselves a deep fryer. So all those drippings, all that oil, we're gonna pour that in first. I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna stop short of using the drippings themselves. So that gave me some of the oil, so I'm using it again, recycling, not wasteful. I need just a little bit more oil to add to it. If you're one of the lucky ones that have a deep fryer, little portable one or tabletop one, then it's time to get out your deep fryer. You don't want to do a lot of oil, so I think I've got here probably about an inch, inch and a half. All right, so potatoes, want to get them dried. You know, the potatoes are in the liquid, one, to keep them hydrated, to keep them from turning brown. Also, it pulls a little bit of the starch out if it's too starchy, and it helps with crisping up the potato if we just pull out some of the starch if it's necessary. Some potatoes are more appropriate for frying You know, Idaho russet is a really good fried potato. It gives you that crisp outside, but Yukon Golds are really sexy and they taste super, super good. They just don't give you as much of a crisp, but the flavor to me is absolutely divine. We've got russet. We don't need any additional flavor because we've got so much flavor going on in this poutine gravy. These chicken gizzards are delicious. They're gonna give us everything we need. So we're gonna get the oil hot. We're coming again for 350 degrees. How are we gonna test it? How do we know? If you don't have a thermometer, after it gets to a certain level of heat, we're gonna see if it sizzles. No sizzle, we're not ready to fry. So, whoa, we're ready. Now, again, we dried the potatoes just a little bit. We're gonna work in batches. Also, so we don't have as much splash up when these potatoes with the liquid are going in. Because we've dried them, I don't get burned. We're gonna do just a drop of water, not a lot, because we don't want an explosion. Remember, water and hot grease, extremely flammable. But just a little bit. And I can hear it pop, pop, popping. I'll put a few in at a time, and I'm gonna get some more ready. Just grab a handful out, got my paper towel ready, just dabbing. Wanna dab pretty thoroughly. It's just gonna help give you a crispier fry. Also, we don't wanna put too many in at one time, so that can help give us a crispier fry. I've got a spider, and you're welcome to use a bigger pot. I chose to use a small pot, so I did not have to use so much oil. We want the oil deep as opposed to the oil spreading out. You know, so a smaller pot, I can condense more oil in it. Takes me a little bit longer, but at least I'm not wasting a lot of oil, using a lot of oil. You know, so we've recycled part, we've added a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes of frying. I might have to do some adjusting. If you see the potatoes are getting brown too quickly, bring your flame down. If it's not getting brown quick enough, bring your flame up. We're trying to balance out the heat and trying to keep it around that 350, 375 range without using a thermometer. So a lot of it is just looking at it visually. I'm gonna check with the long tongs, again, protecting myself from the oil. I like to move my fries around too, just to help them brown evenly. So the first time I tried this dish was when I went to Montreal as a flight attendant. I felt like I was in France, being in Montreal. And the real cool thing was duty-free. You could buy champagne for really cheap, and I bought quite a few bottles. So I missed those prices. You know, I haven't been to Montreal in a while. I'm hoping to get there soon. There's some things going on with their oysters that I'm wanting to learn more about, and the freshness and the purity of what they're doing with oysters. So hopefully we'll get there and then we'll come up with an oyster recipe to do. Looking good. We'll be right back. We're gonna continue to fry. Be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. So let's rock this. Got our last batch of fries coming out. Let's check the poutine. Wow, look at that. This is absolutely amazing. Now let's check this. So everyone can see. Fork tender. So that's all we're looking for. So make sure that it's fork tender. So we're good. So that chewy is like gone. Now it's just pulling apart. It smells divine. Seasoned salt, because I want the fries to have some flavor. Little paprika, little bit of cayenne, a little bit of onion and garlic powder. I'm gonna put all this in this pan. Spread it around. Okay, just a little bit of black pepper to those fries. All right, so now this is the easy part. We're just gonna spoon this deliciousness right across the fries. This is also something that, again, it would be great over rice. It would be great over grits. It would be absolutely amazing over biscuits. I'm gonna come over here with our cheese curds. So I'm gonna just toss some cheese curds on top. Add a little bit more of the sauce right over the cheese curds. Our scallions. Okay, are you seeing this? This is so good. This is so, so good. It deserves the happy dance. This right here, do y'all see this? This is what happens when the South goes up north, across the Canadian border. Smothered chicken gizzard poutine. Yum, yum, yum.